Hello, and welcome to the OCDSB Routine Practices and COVID-19 Awareness Training Module. This school year may look a little different than other school years, but the Ottawa-Carleton District School Board remains committed to providing a safe and healthy learning environment for our staff and students. As we proceed into the school year, the COVID-19 pandemic is still ongoing. This training module will outline the steps and strategies that are being put in place at our schools and administrative locations for the upcoming school year. The Public Health Agency of Canada has stated that the best way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 is through self-monitoring, frequent hand hygiene, physical distancing, and avoiding touching your mouth, eyes, or nose with unwashed hands. The Occupational Health and Safety Act requires the OCDSB to take all reasonable precautions under the circumstances for the protection of workers, including the protection of workers from exposure to COVID-19. The types of protective measures put in place will depend on the nature of the hazard and the risk of exposure. This training module will inform you of the measures recommended cooperatively by the Ministry of Education, Ottawa Public Health, and the Ontario Ministry of Labour, Training and Skills Development for the protection of workers. This training module will provide an overview to the following requirements: COVID-19 screening, monitoring and reporting, hand hygiene, respiratory etiquette, physical distancing strategies, cleaning and disinfecting processes, and personal protective equipment. There are a series of control measures that employers may implement to protect workers from hazards in the workplace. These measures must be considered in order from most preferred to least preferred and include elimination, which involves removing the hazard from the workplace. This is the most effective way of protecting workers. Substitution refers to replacing the hazard with a less harmful hazard. This is not applicable as it relates to COVID-19. Engineering controls is defined as the process of isolating people from the hazard. Administrative controls look at changing how people work through administrative processes. And personal protective equipment, or PPE. PPE protects the worker with personal protective equipment. PPE is considered to be the last form of defense against a hazard. This chart represents the hierarchy of controls and how it relates to protecting workers from the hazards associated with the transmission of COVID-19. At the top of the diagram, we have elimination of the hazard. This can be done in part by limiting the number of staff and students on site at any given time. Next, we have substitution. While we'd love to substitute this particular coronavirus with a non-hazardous alternative, we simply don't have that option. There are, however, some engineering controls we can employ, including the installation of physical barriers and elimination of frequent touch points. Several administrative controls will be employed to help reduce the risk, including but not limited to physical distancing, regular hand hygiene, and enhanced cleaning and disinfection procedures. Finally, we come to the provision of personal protective equipment, including medical masks, safety eyewear, and face shields.